Hello, good morning. Michelle here with My Designs in the Chaos, where it's my goal to develop, encourage, and grow your crafting talent and confidence. And I am live today on episode number 24 of our daily dose of design, where I am going live with you for 30 days in a row, talking about all things SVG files and all things designing SVG files. I'm answering your questions every single day. If you have a question that you would like to be featured on, there is a email that is scrolling across the bottom of the screen right there, info@mydesignsinthechaos.com. Please feel free to send over your question and your answer might be featured on one of our daily dose of design videos. If you are joining me this morning, please let me know where you're joining from and maybe what your plans are for today. So what I'm going to be answering today is I am answering the question. This is a question that I get all the time. And so it hasn't just come in one time, it's come in multiple times. And so I thought it would be fun for you guys to hear my take on it and my answer on it today. So the question today is, how did I specifically learn how to design SVG files? And so I thought I would kind of walk you through my process, my journey, and then show you the very first SVG file that I ever designed. I thought that would be really, really fun. Hey, Ruth, thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Now, I'm going to walk you through kind of 4 steps that I took in order to be able to learn how to design my own SVG files. So step number 1 that I took when I decided, you know what, I want to learn how to digitally create was research. Research, aka Google. Now, this was a very tedious process. I will be totally transparent in saying that it was a very tedious process. It was long, it was sifting through information. There is so much information out there available online. Has anybody else ever experienced that? Let me know in the comments, give me a hands up or a yes, where you've gone to Google and you've typed something in and it's just overwhelming. And you go to one post and you read about it, and then you go to a different post, you read about something else, and it's like contradicting what the first one said. And it's like, okay, which one is the right one to do? I have no idea. And so it was a very long and tedious process of teaching myself. And so that was step number 1, though. I did lots and lots of research. This is actually why I ended up coming up with the program 123 SVG, because it was so overwhelming going from this site to this site to this video to this video. What do I do first? What do I do next? What's happening here? And while I firmly believe there is so many ways to find success, there's lots of ways to be able to learn how to design. I felt like we needed a clear, concise path that built one thing on top of the other. And so that's why actually where my heart came from on developing the program 123 SVG. But that was my first step in learning how to design, was research or Google. The second step was practice. So once I had gathered all this information and I was feeling like, oh my gosh, okay, let me try this. Okay, let me try this. I had to actually go in and start experimenting with it. And that was another long, tedious process, because I was experimenting with, okay, this person says I should do this. Is that going to work? Okay, now this person said I need to do it like this. Let me try that. And so it was practicing over and over and over and testing. I was testing every single one. So I would create a file, I would save it, I would open it up in design software, and I'd say, oh, that didn't show up the way that I wanted it to. Okay, go back to the drawing board. Test, design. Okay, let me go and open it up like this. And so it was a practicing process where first I researched, then I practiced back and forth. Y'all, that was a lot. So that was number 2. Then number three, once I got the technique down, I was like, okay, I'm becoming familiar with the software. Now, I will be transparent, and I've said this before when I've talked about the different types of software. When I first started learning how to design, I learned inside of Inkscape, which is a 100% free program that you can actually go download today. So, this was a free program that you can go download. And so I was researching, I was practicing, and then once I got that process down and I realized, okay, I've got a file here. I know it works. I know I can upload it. I know we're good to go here. Now, let me list these in an Etsy shop. I started an Etsy shop. And in that Etsy shop, I started analyzing what was it that was selling. So I was putting designs up and then I was looking at, okay, this type of design is selling really well. Let me make more of that style. Or I put this type of phrase up that's selling really well. Let me make more of those or less of those. So that's step number three. I analyzed what was actually producing success for me so that then I could make more of that specific item. Okay. And I was doing that for myself. And then number four, the fourth thing I did as I was first learning how to design was I took custom orders. So I took lots and lots and lots of custom orders. Now, nowadays, I don't take custom orders anymore. Over time, as my business grew, I didn't have the need to accept custom orders anymore. But that was the last thing that I did in my process of learning how to design was I gathered custom orders for people to be able to share with me, hey, I would love a design that looks like this or like this. Now, let me say, I would never create designs for like copyrighted images or trademarked items, things like that. But if somebody said, hey, I'd love a shirt that says last day of school. Okay, great. Let me come up with a whole bunch of different ideas about the last day of school. And so that way, again, I was tapping into what my audience wanted. And so it was just a great way for me to be able to practice my skills while also immediately getting a return on my skill because I already had somebody who wanted to buy that item from me. And so those were the four steps that I personally took when I was learning how to design my own SVG files. Again, in quick review, number one, researching Google, which is exactly where 123 SVG, the program that I've developed, came from, was because that was very overwhelming. So, number one, researching Google. Number two, lots and lots and lots of practice. And I preach this all the time. If you are a student of one of my classes or you are inside of our club, you will hear me say that all the time. Practice makes progress. It doesn't make perfection, but it makes progress. And so you want to practice, practice, practice. That was number two. Number three, I analyzed what was working and I did more of it. Do more of what is working in your business if you want to find success. And then number four, I opened up the door for custom orders because those were people who I knew it was a sale. Because if I designed specifically what they wanted, it would be an immediate sale. And again, I didn't open it up for trademarked items and things like that, but I took on custom orders. And then over time, I ended up closing that down. So, and I love what Taryn says in the comments. She says, I love custom orders because it challenges my creativity. Exactly. It really gets you outside of that box and it helps you start thinking, what else can I do with this? So those were the four steps in my own personal learning to design process. And then I thought for fun, I would share with you really quick my very first SVG file that I ever listed in my shop. And so let me show that right here. I'm going to put it right here. We'll make it nice and big for you guys to be able to see. I'll take my daily dose of design off. And so you guys can see here, this was the very first SVG file that I ever listed for sale. I had my website on there. You can see this is all of my old branding. I had a watermark, and that was the very first one that I ever listed for sale. So you'll evolve over time. Your style will evolve over time. And it's fun though to be able to go back and look at how far you've come and how your skills and your development has increased. And so So that's a sneak peek into my own process and my own designing journey. So that's a really, really fun question for today. Again, if you have a question that you would love to have answered, make sure to send it over info@mydesignsandthechaos.com. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a little bit of love. And absolutely, it is scary putting yourself out there, Taryn. And I love that. And I want to be an encourager to you. And you've got to get started. That's the main thing with all of this. If you want to learn how to design, if that is somewhere in here, then I encourage you to go for it. If I can do it, you can do it. And I promise if you take a program like 123 SVG, it will make the process so much easier for you. But those are the 4 steps that I took. And if you want these daily dose of design videos in your email inbox every single day, make sure to click the link in the description, either above or below, depending on which platform you are watching this video on. And otherwise, I will see you guys back tomorrow for Daily Dose of Design, episode number 25. We've got 5 to go. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.